Hello students, welcome to our polity session. In this topic, we will discuss about the last topic of parliament. In previous chapter, we studied about the parliament. The parliament consists 3 parts, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha and President. So we have covered Lok Sabha as well as Rajya Sabha also. So in this session, we will discuss about the President, the qualification, the tenure, the powers of the President, the removal of the President, and this is the last topic of the parliaments. So let's start with our topic, President of India. Basically, who is President? President is the highest constitutional authority in the country. He is also known as the first person of India and also known as the ceremonial head or legislative head of the India. So the president of India serve as the ceremonial head and of the state and the highest constitutional authority in the country. So president is the highest constitutional authority in the country. To become a president, a person must have follow some qualification which are mentioned below. So these are some qualification related to the president. The first qualification is citizenship. Candidate must be a citizen of India. Only a person who is born in India and having a citizenship of India can become the president of India. And he must be at least 35 years old. To become a president, a candidate must be at least 35 years old. Also, he is also eligible for the election of Lok Sabha. He is not a member of Lok Sabha, but he must be the eligibility for the election of as a member of Lok Sabha. The constitution says the president cannot be hold any post of profit, but he must be eligible for the election of Lok Sabha. So must be eligible for election as a member of Lok Sabha. Not holding office of profit, the candidate must not hold any office of profit under the government of India, under the state government or any local authority. So a person who having these qualification can become the can elect the president election of president of India. Clear? Next is tenure of the president of India. The president of India hold office a term of 5 years from the date on which he or she entered the office. The tenure is 5 years. Here are some functions and powers related to the president. In fact, we will study in the polity, we will study the powers of the president in each and every topic. But still, we will discuss separately the executive, legislative, financial, and the judicial power of the president. Okay. First, what is executive power of the president? The executive power, the president is the head of the executive branch in India and appoint the prime minister and other minister on the advice of prime minister. So he is the head of the parliament, so also the executive head of the state or the center. Basically, president is the body who appoint the prime minister with the advice of the majority party leader. We discuss in the parliamentary election same topic. Also, president is the power who appointed the council of minister, which are explained in article 74 and 74(5) by the advice of prime minister. So what are the executive power of the president? He is the executive head of the parliamentary head, या फिर executive head of the nation. Also, he appoint the prime minister with the advice of majority party leader and other ministers on the advice of the prime minister only. What are the legislative power of the president? The president summon and prolong the session of parliament. If there is an emergency situation in the country and if parliament in absence, we have discussed that there are 3 sessions in the parliament. Look, budget session, the next session is monsoon session and the third session is winter session. If one session is ended, then the next session will be held within the 2 months gap, not more than 2 months between two sessions. So we can say after a session, Parliament went to always go to for the holiday, or if any emergency in the country, Parliament is absence means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is absent. Then President have legislative power. He can summon the Parliament and start the session during emergency. Also, he addressed the Parliament and has the power to dissolve the Lok Sabha. When President can dissolve the Lok Sabha? If there is less than 50% plus one majority, then President has power. He can dissolve Lok Sabha. That's why Lok Sabha is also known as the temporary house in India. What are the financial power of President? President has various powers in context of financial. First, he can present the annual budget. Generally, annual budget is presented by the first working day of February according to Article 1112. But President can also present the annual budget, also pass ordinance when Parliament is not in session. According to Article 123, we will discuss in the same topic in this chapter also. What are the ordinance power? Basically, I will explain you in basically comprehensive, but briefly you have to understand that ordinance is a power. In absence of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, President can make temporary laws which will valid for 6 months and 6 weeks. So President has financial power in context of making laws through ordinance when Parliament is not in session, and can declare a financial emergency according to Article 360. So President also can declare a financial emergency. Okay, what are judicial power of a president? The judicial power of a president is he can appoint the judge of the Supreme Court and High Court and the Chief Justice of India and Chief Justice of High Court. The judicial power, he can appoint Supreme Court judges. All Supreme Court judges are appointed by the president, and all High Court judges are also appointed by the president only. Also, he can grant pardon if a person is basically punished by Supreme Court or High Court. So President has power, he can grant pardon or remission of punishment, or he can remiss the punishment. So these are the some executive, legislative and financial or judicial power of the president. Clear? Next, some articles related to the president, important articles. What does Article 52 says? According to the Article 52, there shall be a president of the India. So Article 52 says a president is required in India. What are Article 53? Article 53 explain about the executive power of India. Here we discuss about the what are the executive powers of India. So it is mentioned in Article 53. Article 54 explain about the election of the president. What are the procedure of the election of the president? Who will participate in the election of president? Who will conduct the election? So all the details are explained in the Article 54. Article 55 explain about the manner of the election of president. Article 56, qualification for election as a president. We discussed that a member should be a citizen of India, 35 years old, not hold any post of profit, and qualification is equals to that he can elect as a member of Lok Sabha. 59th, condition of president office, and 60s explain about oath and affirmation by the president. So basically, Chief Justice of India, the president is take oath by the Chief Justice of India. So here we will discuss about the election procedure of the president. Okay. So we have already discussed that there are two types of election in India. First is direct election and second is indirect election. What is direct election? When people participate in the election, the normal people of the country participated, then this is known as direct election. And when normal people do not participate or do not elect their representative, then this is known as indirect election. The constitution says that there should be a indirect election for the president. The president is elected indirectly by an electoral college composed of elected member of the both of the parliament and the legislative assembly of state and union territory. So basically, there is the indirect election for the president, and who will participate? Who will vote for election of president? The member of both houses of parliament and only elected members. In Lok Sabha, there are 543 elected members, and in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, there are 12 nominated members and 233 elected members. So nominated members will not be participate in the election of president. So both the member of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha and the legislative assemblies like MLAs of all the countries and the union territory of Delhi and Pondicherry. So the union territory of Delhi and Pondicherry's members also participated in the election of president. What is the voting type? The voting type is known as single transferable vote system. The president is elected using a proportional representation system known as the single transferable voting. So these voting is known as the voting which are done by the member of parliament in legislative assembly is known as single transferable voting method. Means a person can vote for more than one person according to his preference. So this voting is known as single transferable vote system. So clear? This is the election process of president. Okay, here are some points related to the election of the president. First, the election of the president is conducted by the election commission only. So election commission is responsible for the conduction of president election, and for any issues related to president election can be here in Supreme Court only. So two opposite Supreme Court and election commission are responsible to conducting the elections. Okay, I already told you that MPs of the Lok Sabha are participated and Rajya Sabhas and MLAs of the states will be participate in the election of president. But the voting values of MPs and MLAs are different. Each MLA have different vote according to the state, and each MPs have different voting values. So here we will understand the voting values of the how we can calculate the voting formula for the president election. So Article 55 says, this article outlines the manner of the election of the president. Electoral college, the president of India is elected by the electoral college consisting of elected member of both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, elected member of the legislative assemblies of the state and union territory especially Delhi and Pondicherry. Next is value of the vote. So each elected member of the legislative assembly and each elected member of the MP has certain value assigned to their vote. This value is determined based on the population represented by each MLA and MP. So basically, if I am talking about the UP's MLA, there is a different voting value of the UP MLA because the population of UP is higher. So the voting value of the UP MLA is higher than that of the Haryana MLA. So each state's MLA have different voting value. So let's discuss the voting values. The formula for calculating vote. This is the formula for calculating vote of MLA and this is the formula for the calculating vote of MP. Okay. So first discuss the value of MLA vote. The formula is total population of the state. If a state has 100 population, let's suppose karo, then total population of the state, number of elected MLA in the state. Next is, let's suppose this state have 20 MLAs. Let's suppose the population is 10,000 and the MLA is 20 and multiply by 1,000. यहाँ पे 1 lakh ले लो. So this is the formula of value of voting of MLA. The total population upon में number of elected MLA in the state or into में 1,000. Let's cut the value. 2 5s are 10. The voting value of this state MLA is 5. So through this formula, we can calculate the value of MLA's vote. Clear? So each state have different MLA's number. Each state have different population. That's why the voting value of the state MLA's have different. Now second is value of MP's vote. How to calculate the value of MP vote? Okay, the total value of all MLAs vote in the country. The formula is the total value of all MLAs in votes in the country and the total number of elected MPs in both the houses. Let's suppose karo there are 28 states who participate in the president election plus 2 union territories MLA. Each state have two values, or we can say the 28 states MLAs have 5,000 value and the 2 union territories have 1,000 value, and upon me they are total 543 plus 233 members in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. So this is the total value of all MLAs vote in the country. 5,000 plus 1,000 is 6,000. And 543 plus 233, 336, 4037 and 5027. So let's divide this value and the answer will be the value of the MP's vote. So what is the formula for calculation? MLA's vote formula is total population of the state upon my total number of elected MLAs in the state into my 1,000, and value of the MP's vote is total value of all MP's value votes in the country and total number of elected MPs in both the houses of the parliament. Clear? So this is the formula you have to remember in the term of formula. Next, importance. The voting value of MPs and MLA ensure a balance between the representation of the state and union territory in the presidential election. So it's ensure a balance between the representation for the state as well as union territory also. Okay, next is removal of the president. Okay, who can appoint president? The CJI took the oath of president. The tenure of the president is 5 years. President can submit his resign. Is another point. Okay. President can submit his resign to the vice president. If president is absent in the country, then vice president has the power. He can hold the post of the president for maximum 6 months. So we cannot make the vacant of the president seats in the country for more than 6 months. After the removal, after the resign, or after the death of the president, vice president has power. He can act as a president, but for maximum 6 months. That's why president submit his resign to the vice president. If president is absent in the country, then vice president will act as a president. If president and vice president both are absent in the country, then the Chief Justice of India will act as a president. If all three are absent, then the senior most judge of the Supreme Court will act as a president. So here are some points related to the removal of the president. The removal of the president is known as impeachment of the president, and the Article 61 deal with the impeachment of the president. Why we can remove president? The first question is, what are the major reasons of removal of the president? There is only a reason if president is not following constitution or president is not working according the constitution, that he can be removed from his post. The president removal can be started from any one of the house, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. Let's suppose if there is a MP in Lok Sabha, basically who want then a president, who declare that or who see that president is not working according to the constitution, then he can introduce a impeachment bill against president with at least 1/4 members agreement. A single member cannot introduce the impeachment bill. At least 1/4 member of the Lok Sabha should be agree for this bill. When 1/4 members are agree in Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, any one of the house, they basically introduce a impeachment bill and submit to the speaker of chairman of the house. Speaker then inform the president and there will be a 14 days notice given to the president. So a notice of impeachment signed by at least 1/4 of the total member of the either house of parliament and given to the speaker and chairman. Means the bill can started either one of the house of the parliament, either Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha. If 1/4 members are agree for the removal of president, then they can start and submit a basically document to the speaker of chairman. The speaker of chairman notice to the president and the notice will be given to the president for 14 days. Also, the president has right to defend himself. Constitution provide president right to defend himself herself with the assistance of counsel during the impeachment procedure. ठीक है, तो 1/4 agreed, then they submitted to the chairman gave notice to the president. Now bill is introduced in that house and will be passed by the 2/3 majority of the house. If bill is started by the Lok Sabha, then passed by Lok Sabha for a 2/3 majority. At least 2/3 member has to sign to pass the bill. 1/4 member required to introduce the bill and 2/3 members are required to pass the bill. If bill is passed in Lok Sabha, then move to another house and another house also have to pass bill by the special majority. So if the resolution to the impeachment president is passed by a 2/3 majority of the total member of the house in which it was moved, then it moved to the other house. If it passed in Lok Sabha, then moves to the Rajya Sabha. If the resolution passed by 2/3 majority in the both house, the president is stilled impeachment and ceased to hold office from the date on which the resolution is passed. Still president is not found guilty. Till now the bill is passed by both the houses. Now bill sent to the Chief Justice of India. When bill is passed by both the houses, then bill sent to the Chief Justice of India. Chief Justice of India will deal this bill according to the legal format and he declare with all the evidence, after studying all the evidence, that president is guilty or no. So this is the whole procedure to remove president. This procedure is very difficult. Not a single president is removed till now through the impeachment procedure. Only in 1968, the impeachment bill was basically introduced in Lok Sabha for that time president known as Zakir Hussain. But this bill was failed in Lok Sabha. The 2/3 majority was not agree for this bill. So no president is removed till now through impeachment in India. Next is veto power of the president. Okay, what are the veto powers? Article 111. Article 11111 explain about the veto power of the president. Veto power means to assent the bill or to give permission regarding the bill. In our judiciary system, there is a parliament consisting 3 organ known as Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President. If any bill want to become any basically act want to become a bill, or we want to basically impose a bill in India, so we have to pass this bill to the Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and final president will sign, and this will known as became the legal law. So does president has to sign or bill, or president can declare to sign or deny to sign on this bill? So these are 3 veto powers which we have to understand. The one is pocket veto power, the second is suspense veto power, and the third is absolute veto power. Or Article 111 1 explain about these three veto powers of the president. Pocket veto power says if a bill is passed in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, then president can use veto power to stop this bill, and after using veto pocket veto power, president can not answer to the bill, answerable to the bill, and he can hold the bill until he won. So he denied to assent to his bill. He do not reject the bill. He kept bill with himself without any reason or without any signature. So this is pocket veto power. So when president use pocket veto power, he can basically kept the bill with himself till unlimited time. Suspense veto power. If a bill is passed by both the houses, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, then president can return the bill to pass again in both the houses. So after using suspense veto power, president can return the bill to pass again. And last is absolute veto power. In absolute veto power, president can declare bill as a void, and he denied to sign the bill or he denied to accept the bill. So there are three veto powers. In pocket veto power, he do not answerable to the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. In suspense, he return the bill, and in absolute veto power, he reject the bill. So here are some points related to the veto power. Ordinary bill. The president can either give his assent to a bill or withhold his assent. If the president withhold his assent, the bill is dropped and it does not become law. The president cannot withhold his assent to the money bill. Okay, money bill is an exceptional bill. He can only return it for reconstruction. If a money bill is passed, he cannot use pocket veto power and suspend veto power over money bill. He only can use suspense veto power to the money bill. So he can return money bill to pass again, but he cannot use pocket veto and absolute veto power. However, the bill is passed again by both the houses or without amendment and present to the president for assent, she must give her assent to the assent. If president once use suspend veto power, then he cannot again use any veto power of any bill. So these are the veto powers of president. Last point is ordinance of the president. Article 123 explain about the ordinance of the president. Okay, what is the ordinance of the president? Basically, the president, Article 123 explain about the ordinance of the president. The ordinance says that president can promulgate an ordinance only when both houses of parliament are not in session. Ordinance is a power of a president when both the houses is absent and there is a necessity to make law. Then by using ordinance power, president can make temporary laws which are valid for 6 months or 6 weeks only. Clear? So ordinance is a temporary power of a president by which president can make temporary laws. So this is very simple. So the president can promulgate an ordinance only when both houses of parliament are not in session. So president can only use ordinance when both the houses are not in session. And circumstance exists that required immediate action. The ordinance has the same force and effect as an act of parliament. It will work as same laws that are made by the parliament, but it will work for the 6 months and 6 weeks only, but must be approved parliament within 6 weeks of reassemble. If parliament want this law to become permanent, then he has to approve this bill when he is present within the 6 week of the reassembly. Clear? So these are the points related to the president. So let's quick revise the session. President of India, Article 52 explain that there shall be a President of India. The qualification must be citizen of India and must be 35 years old. Tenure is 5 years. Resign submitted to Vice President. Oath given by CGI, Chief Justice of India. There are some executive, legislative and financial and judicial power of the president. Some articles related to president. Article 52 says shall be a president of India. 53 executive power of president. 54 election of president. 55. What are the manner of election of president? 58. Qualification for election as a president. And 59. Condition of president. Or 60. Or 61. Impeachment. Election are indirect, and the member of the parliament, elected member, and legislative assembly, states and union territory will participate in this election. Also, the formula of calculating value of vote of MLA and MPs are different. The value of the vote of MLAs and MPs depend on the population of that state. Removal of the president. Article 61 explain about the impeachment of the president. President can be impeached through the parliament by passing 2/3 majority bill. There are 3 veto powers: pocket, suspendence, absolute veto power, by which president can hold a bill. And last is ordinance. Article 123. President can make temporary laws for 6 months and 6 weeks only. Clear? So I hope you like this session. Thank you.